Sending my deepest condolences. Rest in peace to these relationships. Feeling at rock bottom? Just need to vent. I am 32 male and my wife is 27 female. In March of last year, I noticed on my bank statements that there were 2 purchases from around $100 at Walmart that happened within 1 minute of each other, and that these transactions had been happening weekly, sometimes twice a week since early 2023. I'm not even gonna try to do all that math, but that's a lot. I called my wife and asked about the most recent one I had seen, not knowing how far back it went until later. She said she was buying things for the kids. We have 3 small children. I told her I wanted to see some of the receipts because I don't see why there would be 2 $100 transactions within a minute of each other. She never provided me with receipts and told me I was being crazy and said, what would I even be doing other than getting stuff for the kids? I called the Walmart corporate line and got emailed receipts dating back about 5 months for every transaction that looked like that. She was buying something small at the register and then getting $100 cash back every time. So essentially $200 to $400 every week. Oh my God, that's kind of genius. This was a time when I told her we were struggling financially as I was the sole income earner and she was a stay-at-home mom with our 3 kids, 2 of whom are in school. I was donating plasma at this time to try to make ends meet. When I told her I knew the truth, she got mad and said, what are you going on about now? I pulled out the receipts I had printed and she went silent for nearly an hour. She admitted that after her mother had passed in late 2023, she developed a drug habit and was spending money on that. I asked her why the transactions went back much further than that, just since her mother's death, and she said she had been stockpiling money in a lockbox out of town at her grandma's house in the event she ever needed to leave, as she was a stay-at-home mom and didn't have any income of her own. I asked her how much was in it and she had said only a few $100s. Analyzing the bank statements shows it has to be at least $4,000 to $5,000 that is unaccounted for. I've asked her to go get the contents of the lockbox from her grandma when she is out of town, but that she has been unsuccessful as grandma has always been busy. We separated for less than a week and she begged me not to ice her out and told me she would do anything to rebuild the trust in our relationship. We made attempts to work things out, but things were still shaky. This all transpired 3 months before I found out about the rest. The rest, as in there's more. In July of last year, I became increasingly aware of her always keeping her phone hidden and acting suspicious. Oh boy, we know where this is going. I told her if we were going to work on trust, she needed to be more forthcoming, and I wanted to know what her phone password was because something in my gut told me things weren't right. She told me the password. A few hours later, she took a nap and hid her phone under the pillow. I managed to sneak it out without waking her up. I went into the bathroom and what I saw on her phone has shaken me to my core. Things I will never unsee and I am still coming to grips with. I noticed in her photos that there was a hidden and recently deleted folder. I looked and saw provocative pictures that were never sent to me. I hit info on the photos and it said that they were saved from Discord and Snapchat. She didn't have Discord installed on her phone though. I installed Discord and bam, I was in her account. She had a conversation with one person. I opened it up. I saw him telling her to kiss their daughter goodnight for him.
What was that?
She says that she would always crave him no matter what, and she wishes that they would have worked out when they were younger because she now knows what they had. Him saying, it's been over a year since we met up. Her saying, I don't please her physically or mentally. All the pictures and videos sent back and forth. Things she never sent to me. Him telling her not to have sex with me and her saying that she wouldn't because he said so. Her saying that I'm a bad dad and a husband. I am fuming at this point. I'm fuming for you at this point. I have been the sole provider for my family for 9 years and have always thought of myself as a great dad and husband. Everyone I know always says what a great dad I am, as I'm always taking my kids out to do things and spending as much quality time as I can with them when I'm not working. My relationship with my wife has had its ups and downs as a couple, but never ever would I have expected this. She wakes up from her nap and says, "Baby, where are you?" And I say, "Don't you ever effing call me that again." She said, "Dude, what the F are you talking about? I know everything." She replied, "Seriously, what the F are you going on about now?" And that's when I said his name. She got very quiet. I started packing my things as the kids were asking me what was going on. She started crying and saying, "I'm sorry." As I was leaving, she said, "Just so you know, I have physical proof of the time you cheated on me. I have never cheated on my wife." So I knew that this was a lie and her trying to act like she had some sort of justification. The guy was married. I messaged his wife with the screenshots. She was shocked. Her husband got on his knees and pleaded with her not to leave him, and she ended up staying with him. He admitted to her that my wife he had met up with once in the months prior physically. My wife still refuses this. I asked why he thought my oldest was his, and it goes back to years ago when my wife and I separated for a month before we were married. She met up with this guy during that time. We ended up getting back together after, and then she was pregnant about 2 months later. I've asked her how he even got the idea he was her dad, and she still claims she doesn't know why he was saying that. It was maddening. Okay, but like, are we gonna get like a DNA test? Because if she met up with him, they could have, knocked boots, and then that very much could in fact be his child. After a week, I had started to miss my kids. She went to stay with her father out of town. I was in a bad place and was drinking heavily and taking sleeping pills just to go to sleep, and I couldn't stop having nightmares. I went up to see her and we got a hotel room. What happens next, I guess, is something called hysterical bonding. We had frantic sex many times, and she told me how much she loved me and cried and told me how sorry she was. Okay, quite the switch up here. We went home and spent time with the kids. Keep in mind, this affair had been going on for 6 months, and I found out about the money missing during this. So I was lied to immensely in a very short amount of time. What follows is the last almost year of my life spent in a mental hole. We tried therapy, didn't work. I continued to catch her in lies about things. I discovered her doing duets on TikTok with some guys that were sexually charged and posting thirst traps. She denied it, then I showed her proof and she admitted it and then deleted her profile. Duh. Like, who's surprised that this is continuing? Just a month ago, I saw her username was active and saw that she had been posting again. I asked her if she was back on. The answer was no. Then it changed to, "I just scroll." That's when I show her the video and she says, "That's the only one." I get into her account and I find 20 videos, including messages to her friends talking crap about me. There have been many other lies since then, and I've come to realize I just don't know who she is, and I don't love her, and I haven't since this happened. We have 3 small children who are my world. She's a stay-at-home mom who has never had a job. I'm navigating divorce paperwork with her now and trying to come to some type of agreement where I'm not financially screwed and get to see my kids often. She wants them 5 days a week with me just on weekends. Not gonna happen. The past 5 weeks, I've just been working and coming home, playing with the kids and going to bed. I don't acknowledge her. I'm a zombie right now and I need to push through with this divorce if I ever hope to be happy again. I am just afraid of not seeing my children as much. That's all for now. Nightmare. Definitely push with that divorce. I get it. It's ugly. It's messy. It's heartbreaking. But this relationship is not working. Also, is anyone else like, get a DNA test? What is going on? My boyfriend keeps letting his friend come on our dates. How we got into this predicament in the first place is that my boyfriend just really likes his friend, Liam. He's like a brother to him. He saved his life once, etc. But he is on all our dates. I even brought one of my single friends on a date so we could double date, and Liam and her don't date, so that failed. I've honestly asked my boyfriend, why is Liam on our dates? And he says that Liam is lonely, has nobody else, and he has no siblings or girlfriend. But then my boyfriend kind of guilts me because, I know this sounds awful, Liam is the effing package for guilt. His mom passed when he was young, then his dad and him don't talk anymore, so Liam just doesn't have anyone else to talk to. I honestly think my boyfriend is guilt tripping me, and I don't think I can do this relationship anymore. If nothing changes, I'm leaving. This has gone on for 3 months. Like, sure, I feel bad for Liam, but I don't really know him, and it's not my problem. It's also not just dates, movie nights, he's here. Going to the mall, he's there. Where is he not? Also, I know this sounds made up, I still can't believe it, but it is very much real, and I basically just need validation that it's okay to break up with my boyfriend over this. I mean, you make that call. No matter what the situation is, you decide. I'm interested in learning more about this situation though. Edit. I called my soon-to-be ex-boyfriend to meet up, and I'm gonna break up with him. I'm gonna tell him the exact reason, honestly. I swear if Liam is there though, I'm not considering the possibility of not breaking up with him. It's not even because of Liam, it's that he manipulates me into letting Liam come. Update the next day. I broke up with my ex. I'm gonna call him X. I went to where we agreed to meet up, and guess who he brought with him? You guessed it, Liam. I was very annoyed at this point. I told him I wanted to speak with him privately, and he brings effing Liam. It's very uncomfortable to break up with someone in front of their best friend, but I was too pissed. I told him, I said I wanted to speak privately, and he said, say it in front of Liam. Eventually, I just got annoyed and said, that's it. I don't want Liam always here in our private life, on dates, everywhere. He basically said, remember what I told you about Liam's circumstance, blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm sorry, but I don't give an F about what Liam's going through right now. This is about me breaking up with you. Meanwhile, Liam is just standing there, looking confused. I'll get back to that later. So we basically get into a fight at this park, and it gets to a point where I tell him that he manipulates me into not kicking Liam out of our dates and about everything he told me Liam went through. Like a brother to ex, saved ex's life, dead mom, dad absent, no siblings, friends, or girlfriend. And then my ex looks like he got caught or something. And Liam gets angry saying, what did you tell her? This is all really funny and really awful at the same time. It turns out none of what X told me was true. Shut the Liam has a fiancé, has a real brother and sister, and his mom is not dead. So anyway, I definitely broke up with X. Like 40 minutes later, Liam DMs me basically saying that X told Liam I wasn't comfortable being alone with X and that he thought I wanted him to be on the dates. Sir, what? He said the reason why he agreed is because his fiance is living in Europe to finish up her study abroad program and he had nothing better to do. So X just flat out is a liar. Glad I broke up with him. Mad I got lied to, but oh well. This was honestly not a turn of events that I was expecting, and I have to get it out somewhere. Poor Liam. Liam is probably like, bro, like, why am I always like third wheeling you guys? Like, sure, if she's not comfortable, like, of course I'll support, but now he's sitting there being like, this whole time she thinks that that's been my life? I was not expecting that plot twist. Cheating with my best friend. It's been a little over a week since D-Day. My husband has been having an affair with my best friend. She's also... No, that sucks. She's also my daughter's best friend's mom. My friend has always had marriage problems. I could always tell she had a thing for my husband, but she would make comments like, don't always think that people have a malicious intent. The ways that my husband would talk to her, it had been going on for years. They loved each other and he had loathed me. How do I get over it? We've been married for 19 years. We have kids. I'm shattered. He gaslit me for years. I don't know who I am. You're just rushing through all of this. If you knew that they had feelings and they would act that way around, girl, what are you doing staying for 19 years? What do you mean? I knew my husband always loved her the way... Okay, so why are we here? Edit. So he doesn't want to be with her. She has 2 girls, 7 and 12, and I have 2 girls, 12 and 15. My girls gave me permission to leave their dad. They said they know it's not the way you treat a person. We have to see my old best friend everywhere. You can see her house from mine. Our kids go to the same school. Our daughters have been best friends for 8 years. I'm mad. I loved her kids so much and I won't get to see them grow up. Edit 2. It is all starting to unravel. All the lies that she told me. Just a few months ago, we all went to an event, but the STBX and I were arguing and the homewrecker asked my oldest daughter what we were fighting about. Did she use my daughter to get information from it? Duh. Girl, you're not giving us any details to this story. You're like summing it up in 2 sentences. I mean, there's not much else to it. Yeah, your best friend is very much, who is pretty much family, has been cheating with your husband. May that relationship rest in peace, truly. All right, good time for a hydration break before we get back to some more chaos. Grab your beverage of choice, but drink some water today. You need it. Cheers. Husband cheats and makes fun of me as a affair partner. I, 34 female, am married to my husband, 48 male, for 2 years. I had a gut feeling something was off when I saw him delete a text message. Long story short, he was having an intimate phone and emotional affair. I'll never truly know the extent because he deleted all the info from his phone, well, most of it. I was able to download the TikTok data from his phone and found he spoke to an affair partner there as well. Not too much was there except for sharing videos. Except then I found, I don't know, she's half inbred VA from her mom and half inbred FI from her dad. Not only was this cruel, but what takes the icing on the cake is his affair partner is Mexican descent like him. I have to ask myself, is my husband racist? Does he even like me? I feel not only used, but I do think there's times he's only worried about his image. And I feel used since I've been the one keeping the bills up and he hasn't been financially contributing as much. I honestly feel like that photo circulating with my boyfriend who hugs his girlfriend from behind as she's paying for groceries. I think personally he hates the situation we're in and has come to blame me and hate me for it. I'm not just sure how to reconcile my thoughts and feelings. We do have an update and some more context because I am a little bit confused, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't typically post, mostly read other posts, and I didn't include everything. Husband and I met at work and have never truly had any large issues. We did live in separate parts of Texas for a few months when we were dating due to work relocation. My husband was making a great salary, as was I when we were working at the same place. I later found a job that I enjoyed more with a slight salary cut, but I was able to work from home. My husband was later fired from this job in 2023, a few months after our wedding. Things have been tough financially, but then my bachelor dad, who I found out was my dad in 2022, that's a whole story in itself, offered us to move in to help the strain. I finally took him up on his offer and found a job in October of last year. I did find this job and was hired within a month, which was a quick turnaround. Husband dropped me off in Florida with our dogs to finish the last of our lease. To note, he has been underemployed working retail this entire time since he was fired, so he could have easily found another job with me and we could have just finished the remainder of our lease. But no, couldn't do that. What was his excuse, you might ask? He wanted to spend more time with the kids. Which I'll give him that, he did spend more time with them, but every time it was always to provide rides and to take them out for lunch, which we truly could not afford. I flew out to visit him twice from November to February and honestly didn't think much of it since we've done long distance prior. Our communication was poor due to the signal where I live, and since he felt abandoned, he decided to chat up our former coworker. who works for a liquor distributor who frequented his location a lot. I come off as a jealous person, but I'm truly not. It's mostly a joke. I didn't care if he had female friends as long as I knew them and he was honest. This coworker isn't younger, prettier, or skinnier than I, for those of whom you inquired. She was just there and thirsty, like he is. How did I find out? Yes, I snooped, but I had a feeling after he deleted a message. I called her and she lied to me. This was before I saw all the messages. I threw the phone in his direction and freaked out. My husband was so manipulative and I believed him and said, she's just a really good friend. But he said, girls like that don't stop. It irritated me and I had to find out more. He didn't permanently delete them, but it was some of the most sexual things being talked about with nudes. I instantly woke him up and he was so manipulative to hold me back, delete stuff from my phone, etc. Mind you, he was still talking to her after we moved to Florida in March of this year. We talked and he said he felt abandoned and angry at me for leaving, all while he carried out this affair, but apparently they touched physically. So they didn't, he's saying they didn't touch physically? It says they did. The only reason why I believe him is because in their TikTok messages, he said to her, she'll keep digging, but there's nothing to find because he didn't do anything. Yes, he did delete the TikTok messages, but I was able to download this information. It was in those threads I found him calling me inbred and that they were both making fun of me. He called me inbred while living in the house my father was gracious enough to let us live in. We have talked and gone to counseling, which has helped. I just feel so manipulated, angry, sad, and confused. My rose-colored glasses are gone and I see her nudes when I talk to him sometimes. He does seem remorseful and appears to be hit with, I'm going to do better, and he has been attending church with me more. I just tried so hard to forgive him and it's hard. Like, I forgive him for the affair, but for hurting me worse than my toxic family, I'm not there yet. I'm not exaggerating. I always felt like he loved me to the end of the world and he was only obsessed with me. I truly always tried to be supportive and never made him feel insecure about losing his job. I'm not a perfect wife, but I worked, I cooked, I cleaned, and honestly, my sex drive is higher than his. So there was never a problem in that department. I just don't get it. I don't get why he would call me inbred knowing that I can't stand incest, anything. It grosses me out to my core. I question if my husband even likes me after making those comments. He says he does, but he's proven himself a liar time and time again. I do love my husband and I'm crazy about him like no one I've ever been before, but I just feel like discarded ragdoll at this point. I feel like I've done all this work to be closer to God and to be a better person, which he always encouraged me and proclaimed to be a follower himself. That's really it for anyone who wanted an update. Personally, no way could I ever forgive that. The emotional cheating, the pictures, the making fun of me, how? How do I possibly be your wife? Absolutely not. Someone else out there in the world will treat me better. No thanks. But hey, give me your thoughts on these, you guys. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.